Before you hear this story, understand one thing. Nothing you are about to hear is symbolic. Nothing is exaggerated, and nothing is softened. A man once invited his brother to dinner. The brother laughed, ate, drank wine, and thanked him for the meal. Only afterward did he learn that the food he had just consumed was made from the bodies of his own children. This is not a horror movie. This is not a legend meant to shock teenagers. This is a story that ancient civilizations considered so disturbing, but they refused to show it on stage. They spoke it quietly, carefully, as if saying it too loudly might summon something back into the world. This story begins where most true crimes begin, with power. Atreus and Thyestes were brothers, born into the same royal bloodline, raised in the same palace, shaped by the same expectations. Both were told they were destined for greatness, and both believed the throne of Mycenae belonged to them. But power rarely destroys people alone. It reveals what was already there. Thyestes betrayed his brother not only politically, but intimately. He slept with Atreus's wife, turning a struggle for power into a personal humiliation. Then he stole the sacred symbol of kingship, an object believed to legitimize rule itself, and claimed the throne without hesitation. Atreus was stripped of everything and sent into exile. In ancient Greece, exile did not mean safety. It meant survival. It meant living long enough to think, to replay betrayal, to imagine punishment, to rehearse revenge until it felt inevitable. Years passed, and when Atreus returned, he did not come as a conqueror. He came as a brother. He spoke calmly. He spoke softly. He spoke of forgiveness. He said the past had destroyed enough, and that family should come before power. To prove his sincerity, he invited Thyestes to a public feast, a ritual of reconciliation meant to erase old wounds. Thyestes hesitated, but this was blood. And even in violent societies, people believe blood is a boundary evil will not cross. The feast was carefully prepared. The meat was slow cooked. The wine was poured generously. Thyestes ate without suspicion. He ate until he was satisfied. He ate food prepared by the hands of someone he believed had forgiven him. What he did not know was that Atreus had already crossed a line from which there was no return. When the meal was finished, Atreus rose from his seat. His voice did not shake. His face showed no rage, no pleasure, no visible emotion at all. He lifted the cloth from the table. What lay beneath were the severed heads of Thyestes' sons, their hands, their feet, the proof of what had been done. Only then did Thyestes understand that the flesh he had just consumed belonged to his own children. Ancient writers refuse to describe what happened next in detail. They simply say that Thyestes screamed, and that his scream reached no one. Not the crowd, not the gods, not even himself. This act shattered something fundamental in the Greek understanding of humanity. Cannibalism was not merely a crime, it was the ultimate violation, the destruction of identity, the erasure of the boundary between human and monster. And yet, this was not the end. Thyestes did not collapse into insanity. He adapted. He became more focused, more dangerous. Instead of reacting emotionally, he planned something even darker. To destroy Atreus completely, Thyestes crossed a boundary that even ancient societies refused to describe openly. He ensured the birth of a child within his own bloodline, not out of emotion, but as a calculated act of revenge. This was not driven by desire, it was strategy. The child was created with a purpose, not from love, but from cold intent.
That child was named Aegisthus. From the moment Aegisthus was born, his purpose was clear. He was raised not as a son, but as a weapon. When he came of age, he fulfilled his role and murdered Atreus. But killing Atreus did not end the violence. It only ensured that the next generation would inherit it. Atreus's son, Agamemnon, inherited the throne. History remembers him as the commander of the Trojan War. But his greatest crimes were not committed on the battlefield. They were committed at home. To secure victory, Agamemnon sacrificed his own daughter. When his wife, Clytemnestra, learned the truth, something inside her broke permanently. Love turned into hatred. Marriage turned into a countdown. When Agamemnon returned from war, he did not die as a hero. He was murdered while bathing, vulnerable, trapped by the woman he once trusted. Then came their son, Orestes. He was told that justice demanded blood, that his mother had committed an unforgivable crime, that the only way to restore order was to kill her. Orestes obeyed, and after the act, he unraveled. He claimed shadows followed him, that voices hunted him, that sleep was impossible. Modern psychology would recognize this as severe trauma, guilt-induced psychosis, and moral injury. The ancient Greeks called it something else. They called it a curse. This cycle of violence was eventually halted not by revenge, but by law, when society finally intervened and declared that bloodshed could not continue endlessly. But the House of Atreus remained a warning etched into history, a reminder that power, when mixed with obsession and humiliation, can turn families into killing machines. And perhaps the most disturbing truth of all is this: nothing in this story is supernatural. There are no monsters, no demons, no gods forcing hands. Only human beings making choices. And if a human being is capable of doing this to his own brother, the question we are left with is not what happened back then, but how close we might still be to it today. This story didn't end here. Subscribe for more dark stories from History Lab.